Hey everybody, what is going on? So this is going to be a follow-up on the video that I did on how to add a 5-column row in your footer and add your social icons. So you're wanting to have, 5 social icons, and with System.io, having a 5-column row is not something that's kind of built into System. So what we did is we went and tackled this using a raw HTML element. And so what we're looking at here is our row with the 5 social icons: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. So Sam Rose, he commented on that last video that I did, and he asked, what happens if you want to switch out, maybe you want to switch out LinkedIn for X, for Twitter. And how do you do that? So let's walk through that. If we go here and click on this and do an edit code, this is all the code here. And this styling stuff is really just what this style section here is saying is do all this to everything down here. Okay. Now, if you scroll down in here, each one of these little href links is going to the address for that specific icon. So right here, this is the Facebook address, and here you would put your Facebook profile link. Right now, it's just going to facebook.com. And then here, again, you'd want to put your actual Instagram profile link here. Right now, it's just going to instagram.com. But anyway, what he was asking, what Sam was asking is how to swap out something in here, like LinkedIn. So here's how I would attack this. These, if you look at all this right here, if we go and scroll, and probably the best way of really looking at all this without having to scroll and everything is I just go in here and I just grab it all, copy it. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to open up Notepad. Let me pull over Notepad here for you. That's interesting. Pulled up style for some reason. Okay, I'm just going to paste everything in there. And again, if we go all the way down and if we look at this, the icons are being grabbed at Font Awesome. Okay. So first thing that you want to do is say, okay, I want X. All right. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go pull up Font Awesome. And then we're going to go to icons and we'll look for X. All right. And that didn't really pull up what I was looking for. Let's go back over here to Twitter. Let's do a search for Twitter. All right, that's better. This is the one that I grabbed. Okay, so, and they got a couple here. You can either use this one or you can use one with the box. You just kind of pick one that you want. So you go into there and you grab it. So you have all the different HTML elements, and you have a React element here. What I found is the SVG code is the one that works best within that HTML element that I'm using. And so this is it right here. Now, caveat that something else to kind of keep in mind is you can actually change the color of this right in here if you wanted to. And I'm saying that now because as I do this, we're going to run into another issue, and I'm going to just run through this, and I want to, show you what the issue is going to be before going through and fixing it in advance. All right. So we've got our code snippet. We're going to click on it and it's been copied. All right. So now we go back up here, and actually it's probably again going to be easier if we go into Notepad, pull that up, and we're going to go over to, whatever it is that we want to swap out. In this case, it's LinkedIn. So here's all the code for LinkedIn right here. Okay. I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab this whole line here where it starts with SVG. And then I want to go all the way down to where it ends with SVG, which is right here. I'm just going to delete it. I'm hitting the delete key, and I'm going to paste in the new one. Paste. All right. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to X. And then we're good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to just going to do Control A, and I'm going to do Control C, copy everything. Then I'm going to pop this over to my other window, and I'm going to do Control A here. I'm going to delete it all. I'm just going to pop everything back in, and we're going to save. When we do that, a couple things that happen here. Okay. Where's it at? Okay. So what happened with that code when we look at it that we grabbed from Font Awesome? It's a little different than everything else. All right. Right here we have ViewBox. Okay. So that's all good. If we look at the one right above it, Instagram, it's got a ViewBox. But what it has that doesn't have down here is a height and a width. Okay. So I was able to figure that out. But let's just say I wasn't able to figure that out. Let's say I wasn't able to figure that out. And let's just say that, again, I'm not a coder and I don't know how to figure it out. So here's what we're going to do next. Okay. I'm going to pull up ChatGPT. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to say, I'm working on some raw HTML for my website on system.io. The code that I have is for a 5-column row with a social icon in each column. Here is the code. Okay. So I'm going to pull this back over. We're going to do Control A again, Control C. It was probably already in my memory, but just want to make sure, right? I'm going to go over here, do paste. Now I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say the X icon is not showing up. Can you look at this and fix it for me? Okay. So let's scroll down. I already fixed it, but I want to see what it comes up with. Okay, so there it is. This is me, the last part where I was asking it, right? So now we go all the way down here, and then here's the code. And interesting. Corrections made. So it did something a little bit different than I did. I don't think it's going to work. We'll see. Let's go ahead and grab it. And this is how you do things with ChatGPT. You kind of go back and forth. Okay, let's go back over here. Maybe it does. So we're going to go into Edit Code. Now we're going to go back here. And so what it is telling us to use is it's using the A. So we're gonna replace everything from A to A. Go back over here, right? And right here. Gonna take all this out. And let's just see if that does the trick. And no, it doesn't. Okay. So we go back and we say, that didn't work. I am still not seeing the X icon on my site. I do see the others. Could be going on with the code for the... Again, I've fixed it, so I know how to fix it. I'm just wondering why. Okay, so yeah, it's still not pulling it up. Okay, see here again, no height, no. So we could go back and forth with this to see if, I wonder if I could get this to actually, what happens? All right, let's see if we can teach it to do something. Since the other icons are showing up, what happens if you compare the code for the other icons and pop in what is missing for the X icon. Let's see if it's smart enough to figure it out. Nope, still didn't figure it out. See, what we're looking for here is a height and a width, and it's just not, it's not able to. So I'm going to go ahead for sake of the video. And so this would be something you might just have to, reach out to somebody when you're, again, something where ChatGPT just doesn't help. But here's how we do this. We go back over here and edit code. Okay. Going to go scroll all the way down. And if we notice here, again, we got a height of 32 and a width of 32 for the Facebook icon. Width on this one is a little less, 32 and 28, but all the heights are the same. So the X one might be 28, might be 32. But what we can do here is go in here and do height equals, and then do 32. All right. And then we're going to do width equals, put it in quotes. We're going to do 32. Actually, let's do 28. Let's just see what it looks like with 28. Then we do save. And look at that. It popped up. Now, here's what's interesting. The last time I did this before this video, this came out black. And what I wanted to show you is what do we do if it comes up black and you're not sure, how do we get it to be green? If we go back to Font Awesome, so this color green that we're using here, let me go ahead and click. It's the same one. I'm using the same color all the way through. And I'm wondering if, and let me just go over here, scroll all the way down. It should be in my colors already. This is the color I'm using right here. But let's go ahead and I'm going to highlight this and copy it. So if this was still black, how I would attack this is I would click into this. I'd go into my code and I'd go up here and see where it says. So we go up to the style. The style says, this is how we want these icons down here to look. And when we go over here, we have this color option right here. Okay. And it's saying inherit, but we could actually force it to be a font color. We could say color, and then we could put the code right here. So let me do, instead of inherit, we do this. And we do a hashtag before, or a pound sign before it. And then you want a semicolon after. Hit the wrong semicolon. And then we would just take all this out. And what we're telling it is we want all these icons to be this color green. Right now it's just saying inherit. But we can literally say just green. Okay. And then save. And we should still see, yep, same thing all the way down. Now another option, if you go back over to Font Awesome, let's just say now that we want, maybe you want Snapchat. Okay. So we'll search for Snapchat. So here's all the different Snapchat ones. Okay. So another option would be is you go in here to this styling tools here and click on those. And then we can actually click on a color and color it yellow, right? Or we can go over here, pick your own color. Okay. And then right in here, we can pick our own color. Now this is doing, there we go. Scroll through. You can use these arrows to scroll through to get our hex code. I'm going to paste in my hex code. Control V. Oh, it's not working. So we'll go back and get that color again. And there it is. Copy. Go back over to Font Awesome. And click on that again. And if you wanted the RGB, that's in here as well. This here's the RGB. It's 610966. Okay. Or we could use the drop down to get back to the hex and paste that in. It still doesn't want to. Okay. It doesn't want to play nice. Don't know why. We're going to try this. It's not letting me do. Okay, so do this. It just does not want to let us copy it into it. Fun times. 610966. 610966. And done. Let's see what we got. There we go. Okay. And there it is. Now, if we go up to the SVG and we copy this code, it'll come across as green. Okay. So that's another way of getting your icons to be your color if you wanted to. All right. So hopefully that's helpful. That you kind of see the process for changing an icon out using the Font Awesome icons, which are free to use. The ones that I'm picking are all ones that are free to use. And again, if you run into an issue of just not knowing quite how to do something, pull it into ChatGPT. Again, ChatGPT was struggling this time with it. I just knew how to, just by looking at the code. It's like, okay, what's different for these other ones? Okay, it doesn't have a height and a space, or I'm sorry, a height and a width on it. Let's go and change that. And so I was able to figure that out. But again, another option would just be, okay, if ChatGPT is not working, let's just go play with Claude AI and see if Claude has any better luck, with this. And you got to be persistent with some of this stuff, and you're going to have, they call them conversations because you're having a conversation. You have to kind of go back and forth and just say, hey, that still didn't work. So these AI models, they can be extremely helpful. I mean, I look at it as an AI assistant, but they're not perfect. And you do really have to be patient with them and work with them because they're not going to give you the right answer right out of the bat. Hopefully that's helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, we have a whole playlist on system.io. Feel free to check that out. Have an awesome day.